Tomorrow, Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out, which means it's the perfect time to talk about Man of Steel. So for me, I've been a lifelong fan of Superman. I used to have the Blu-ray box set here. I used to have that in a DVD as a kid, and I just had them in all the time. Those ones as well, the Spider-Man trilogy. I used to watch them all of the time as a kid. My always go-to Superman movie as a kid was, for some reason, Superman 4 Quest for Peace. I think it was just the fact that you probably get the most amount of Superman in that movie, and you don't really get a lot of Clark Kent. You get just I feel like it's just a very cartoonish movie. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I liked it as much as I did as a kid. So Man of Steel was actually the first Superman movie I got to see in the big screen. I was so excited when it came out. All the images, I don't even remember if I saw a trailer leading up to it, but just seeing Henry Cavill in the Superman suit, I was like, that suit looks amazing. But then when I was looking at it as well, I'm like, where are his pants? Where are his pants? Why is he not wearing his pants on the outside? But so I went to see this movie in the cinema opening weekend, and I was blown away. This is something that I never thought I'd see a Superman movie like this, because if you've seen the original ones, you know what the original ones are like. That's what I always imagined Superman like, and then to see him in this movie, seeing what he's able to do, seeing literally throw Zod through a building, which even back then I love. I think my love for the final battle comes down to when I used to play with my Superman toys and all the toys. I used to have like my Ben 10 toys up against whatever else toys I was using. I'd like make these towers out of Lego or these blocks my little brother had, and I would throw the toys into it, and then just seeing it put on the big screen exactly the way I used to play, I just loved that. I think even as when I was younger, I loved the first time I saw that, because my mind immediately went to how I used to play with the toys. But Henry Cavill as Superman is just, I don't understand the hate. He gets so much hate. People say he's a terrible Superman, which he really isn't. Personally, I do think I do prefer Christopher Reeve as Superman, just purely because of nostalgia purposes, because I grew up with him as Superman. He's who I always imagined as Superman. But Henry Cavill does an absolutely fantastic performance as Superman. I can understand why some people would say he's their favorite, because he is a fantastic Superman. And I do love Henry Cavill as Superman. I love him and Christopher Reeve as Superman for completely different reasons. I love Christopher Reeve Superman because he's the aw shucks type of superhero. He's the guy who he knows he's not gonna kill anyone. He's just so humble, and I love Christopher Reeve for that. And the Man of Steel Superman, Henry Cavill, he's a guy that he knows what is good in the world. He tries to do what's good in the world. There's a great scene in a church when he's talking to a priest. He's saying he doesn't trust anyone. He doesn't know how to trust. He doesn't trust Zod. He doesn't trust the people of Earth. And then the priest says to him, the trust has to come after, leading to him actually sacrificing himself up to General Zod. So you can tell he wants to believe in people, but he doesn't know if he can truly believe in them. Really fantastic. I love the betrayal of Superman in this movie as well. Even though he doesn't have the aw shucks type to him, he does have some moments, especially with his mother or Lois Lane. And for a character who's 83 years old this year, I would say Henry Cavill's portrayal as Superman is a perfect portrayal of Superman for the 21st century. In Justice League, they kind of tried to rewrite his Superman to make him more like Christopher Reeves. It was fun in the moments, but I just don't think it really works with this kind of world that they're in. It doesn't work, him being so kind of, to say the least, naive. Like, he wasn't really work as a naive superhero in the world that Zack Snyder created, so it'd be kind of weird if Superman was like that within this universe. But you also have Superman, you do have Lois Lane. I've never been a fan of Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I think Amy Adams is a fantastic performer. I think her and Christopher Reeve, or Henry Cavill, do have a fantastic chemistry. They work off each other really well. But I've just never really bought Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I just see her, and I know she's playing Lois Lane, but she just seems like, oh, it's Amy Adams to me. I think she does a good performance, but for me, I've just never bought her as Lois Lane. So that's kind of something that I would call a negative for this movie, the fact that I don't believe one of the main characters to be who they are. Michael Shannon as General Zod, I think is perfect. Like, as I said, I love the original movies. I actually rewatched Superman 2 about 2-3 weeks ago, and one of my biggest takeaways from it was that General Zod and that whole group aren't, like, they're not treading, they're very kind of dull, they're not interesting to say the least. Like, none of them are standout characters besides the fact that you know who General Zod is, but other than that, he doesn't really do anything to make himself stand out. Again, that is from the 80s, so you can kind of give it a little bit more slack because it's from the 80s, it's in 2013. Well, Michael Shannon's performance as General Zod is so intimidating, it's so interesting, it's so dark, it's something that works really, really well up against Henry Cavill. I just really love his portrayal as General Zod. I would love him if we could see him again, but we probably won't. Which is a downside to this movie, is the fact that we are probably never going to get a Man of Steel 2, which is just heartbreaking because I think Man of Steel is probably the best origin story of all time, superhero origin story of all time. There's no superhero origin story that I think that can compare to this one. You can say all you want Iron Man, you can say all you want Spider-Man or Batman Begins. I think Man of Steel is the definitive origin story for superhero movie. It's just fantastic. You literally see him completely growing into this character. You see everything about it. I just think it's such a great progression of the character of Superman and seeing where he started to where he ends in this movie as well. You have Russell Crowe playing his father Jor-El. That whole scene at the start is absolutely fantastic. It looks a bit like Avatar in the whole world, but I just thought it was fantastic. Seeing him going up against Michael Shannon, seeing him jumping underwater to get the skull, all of it. Really loved all of Krypton, because if you've seen the original movies, we don't really get a lot of Krypton in the original movie, so you don't really know what Krypton is in the original movies. Of course you see it, it's more like crystallized, but this place here looks like an actual city, an actual planet, and I think it works really, really well. Superman as well with his human family, love it all. He's got that great speech with his dad where they're kind of debating. He's saying you shouldn't say the bus, and he's going on, and he says, why can't I just be your son? And then of course he pulls Henry Cavill's Superman's head on his chest and say, you are my son. Such an amazingly strong father-son relationship is built up throughout this movie that I just honestly love. And then one final thing I do want to talk about is Hans Zimmer's score. This score is absolutely fantastic. It works so well throughout the entirety of this movie. I think it's so epic. I think it's so inspirational. It really sets up the character of who this Superman is. Now, of course, I do love John Williams' score for the original Superman movie, but this one here, I think that one there sets up so much hope, but I think this one sets up so much inspiration. Absolutely fantastic score that I did want to talk about. As a whole, Man of Steel, I would probably say it's a 10 out of 10 comic book movie. I think it's a movie I'd love to see a sequel to. I don't think we ever will see a sequel to. I'd love Henry Cavill to get the recognition that he deserves for playing Superman. I would love to see him play Superman properly again in like a full movie where he's not going to be the sideline character like he is going to be moving forward, because he hasn't signed on a contract for Man of Steel 2. He signed a contract to do all these small bits and bobs, probably like what happened in Shazam, but hopefully we'll see his face this time around. But if you want to hear my future take on DC movies, my review for Batman vs Superman the Ultimate Edition will be dropping either later on today or tomorrow. And if you want my thoughts on the Snyder Cut, which I'm so excited to watch, make sure you click that subscribe button so you can come back and watch my review for both of those. And as always, thanks for watching.